Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
You could be driving.
Honda has won more U.S. News and World Report awards than any other brand in the last decade. And now you can add another one to the list, being named the best car brand of 2022. Come get your Honda today at Louisiana's #1 Honda dealer, Team Honda on Siegel Lane.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Hello and welcome to our Ash Wednesday edition of the Clarence Bug Show. Here's hoping that all is well with you and yours in your world since the last opportunity we had to spend a little time with you and yours. Here's also hoping that you had the opportunity yesterday to get out and enjoy some of the Mardi Gras festivities all across South Louisiana. The Pelican Broadcasting crew spent the entire day in the prettiest city on the river, New Roads, Louisiana, for both parades yesterday. And got to do a little housekeeping because we really owe a sincere debt of gratitude to some folks that made our job so much easier. Louis Hebert and Cassandra Weir providing color commentary along with yours truly for both the Community Center Carnival Parade and, of course, the Lions Club Parade that followed thereafter. You talk about individuals so steeped in Mardi Gras knowledge and experience that you really can't find words to say it. Cassandra is one of those, and for that matter, Louis falls in that category as well. They know everything there is to know about everything and everybody and everywhere Mardi Gras in New Roads. And it was a pleasure to work with them. You probably know the name Louis Hebert from the assessor's office in the great city of New Roads. And Cassandra, probably know her name from a lot of ventures as well. Also, Sheriff Renee Thibodeau had the most wonderful time before the parade to spend some time with the newly elected. I say newly elected. How long has Sheriff Thibodeau been in office now? 2 years, Marty? Yeah. Thereabouts. But this was his first full-blown Mardi Gras as sheriff. So, my humble opinion only, if you are the sheriff in Point Capee and you haven't been through a Mardi Gras yet, well, you're not really the sheriff. Just kidding. Just kidding, Renee. He was real upbeat about the whole thing. And while we're talking about Sheriff Thibodeau, very special thank you. I haven't been able to pin down the exact number just yet, and I know it varies from year to year, but estimates are anywhere from 15 to 30 law enforcement agencies outside the parish of Point Capee loaned their efforts to help keep us all safe during the festivities in New Roads yesterday. When you often hear the phrase law enforcement family, that's what they do. When family needs help with something, family members lend a hand. And of course, as is the case with parades everywhere else, the New Roads PD, Point Capee Parish Sheriff's Office, they loan their officers to various municipalities to help with security concerns that they may have. So it was truly a day well spent. And of course, first time that I can remember, I think there was one other year recently where the best band in the land, the Southern University Marching Band, aka the Human Jukebox, performed in both parades. And if you've never seen them live and in person, you're truly missing a treat. It's one thing to watch them on YouTube. It's one thing to watch them on social media. But being there in person to experience the electricity that they generate among the crowd is something that if you've not already done so and you consider yourself a real Louisianian, well, you got to put that on your bucket list, hopefully sooner rather than later. Speaking of the crowd, I made this analogy yesterday, and it was easy to see that COVID fatigue has plateaued in South Louisiana. You could tell by the looks on people's faces, their attitudes, their interaction with complete strangers, folks they had no idea who they were, where they come from, but you could tell folks were ready for Mardi Gras. It is something that falls into the category of things that you don't know you really miss. You don't know how much you value them until they're gone. The weather cooperated, absolutely gorgeous day. And I made the analogy after just sitting back for a while, watching, observing, listening. Yesterday's crowd was the living representation of a dish that we all love so very much in South Louisiana. It truly was a human gumbo yesterday. People of all races, creeds, colors, ages, political affiliations, all of that was put to the side yesterday as people enjoyed the South Louisiana tradition of Mardi Gras. For the crew members, they will obviously get just a very, very short respite, and then they'll start making plans for next year's celebration. So again, big tip of the hat to the fine folks in New Roads. Thank you, as always, for the hospitality. I mean, I wouldn't expect it to be any different because that's who the folks are in Point Capee. It's all they know how to do. God bless them. And truly a day well spent. Also, on the topic of Louisiana news, I want to pass along a scam alert to you and yours. As you well know, the folks that have as their mission in life to separate you from your hard-earned money, they never rest. This comes to us from the website of the CBS affiliate here in the capital city, WAFB Channel 9. The FBI has a new warning for businesses that scammers are impersonating top-level executives using apps for video conferencing to trick employees into transferring huge amounts of money. According to the FBI, they've seen a sharp increase over the last 2 years of this sort of scam. It starts with an email about transferring money to pay a customer. The FBI says it comes with a spoofed link to a video call session. There, they impersonate a top executive like a CEO or president of a company. Some scammers will even hijack video meeting accounts. The scammer will go so far as to claim that the audio or the video in this conference isn't working, and they'll use a photo of a CEO to deep fake audio and instruct employees to transfer funds. There's also another email scam to watch out for as we head full bore now into tax filing season. The IRS is warning tax preparers about the scam attempting to steal client information. Obviously, the goal here is to use that fraudulently obtained information to file fraudulent tax returns. The IRS says these fake emails use the IRS logo, and subject lines like, quote, action required. Your account has now been put on hold. It asks people to click to update their account immediately, or they will be barred from filing tax returns. Now listen, y'all, we all know there is arguably no more feared agency in the federal government than the IRS. And typically, it's an emotional response from us. When you get a notice of this sort, immediately you throw common sense out the window, unfortunately. And once you do that, it's pretty much a certainty that you're going to fall victim to a scammer. Know your rights, know how the IRS operates, and if, God forbid, you find yourself the victim, or better yet, if you feel as though these are scammers, first and foremost, hang up on these clowns. But secondly, report it to law enforcement, particularly to the Attorney General's office. At the end of the day, none of us like being scammed. It leaves us feeling embarrassed, vulnerable, dumb, whatever enters your mind at the time. And of course, there's anger that people go out of their way to do this. But at the end of the day, save our fellow Louisianians, our fellow Americans from falling prey. Once you've been scammed, the likelihood of getting your money back, probably close to zero. But if you can at least help a fellow Louisianian not be scammed the way you were, then I guess there's that little solace that you can get out of that ugly experience. Sadly, and you know, we've said this God knows how many times, if these people were to take just a smidgen of the effort that they use in scamming and get a real job, we'd all be a lot better off. But that, my friends, is a different story for a different day. We're going to get our first break of this hour out of the way. When we come back, I want to talk about a tragic case, a case that just leaves you shaking your head. We'll talk about that as we continue today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show, only on the Pelican. Stay close.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent. Depend on us for service, for selection, for price. Get huge Whirlpool savings. Shop now and save on Whirlpool appliances throughout the store. Plus, experience our price match guarantee and ask about special financing.
You can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day.
Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent with nationwide buying power.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
I'm self-employed and didn't report all my income. They claim I owe a lot more than I do.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
Tax Solutions Now saved my business.
I qualified for the Fresh Start program. I paid less than I owed.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions now.
Call 800-778-4345. 800-778-4345.
The Mazda CX-30, named an IIHS Top Safety Pick Plus. Perfect for the journey ahead.
Start your journey in a new Mazda CX-30. Right here at Team Mazda on Airline.
Hi, gang. Clarence Bugs here, inviting you to come by Old School Barbecue, 10655 Coursey Boulevard, where we tape the show live every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 11 o'clock. Come by and feast on news, sports, current events, love of God and country, and lots of common sense, along with some of the best barbecue anywhere on the planet. 10655 Coursey Boulevard, Old School Barbecue, home of the Clarence Bugs Show.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystoneCountryClub.com.
Welcome back to today's edition of the Clarence Bugs Show. You know, life is filled with odd idiosyncrasies and odd occurrences. Prior to last Friday, I would venture a guess that short of the Bible, I can't think of a single instance where I heard or saw someone use the word or the words begat or beget. You will, those of you that are familiar with the Bible, will know that in many cases it's used in relationship to lineage. So-and-so begat so-and-so who begat so-and-so, dealing with lineage, family lineage. You may have heard on occasion the saying, violence begets more violence. All of this stems from an absolutely horrific incident near the Mall of Louisiana last Friday. Individuals in a brazen shootout opened fire on a car full of individuals. 4 people shot, 2 of them died. And as you might imagine, it involved young people. And as you might also imagine, they were young people of color. Clifton Lindsay, 19 years of age, was pronounced dead at the scene on Bluebonnet Boulevard. If you've been keeping up with the news, you go back a few months, and in November of last year, you may remember the last name, Lindsay. This was the case where a mother put her 2 children in the car and drove over to the Glen Oaks neighborhood to shoot up a house. Unbeknownst to them at the time, individuals in that house were armed as well. So they retrieved their weapons and returned fire. Tremaya Lindsay, the daughter, his sister, was hit and died in the streets. The mother, shot and wounded. The son, who survived, charged with 5 counts of first-degree murder. So now, this mother has lost a son, a daughter, and the other son facing life in prison for 5 counts of first-degree murder. Police so far are saying that they have no evidence, although the investigation continues, that these 2 incidents were related. Now, if you've watched me or listened to me for any amount of time, you know full well I'm not a betting man. But I'll take odds on this that the 2 were related. Police have categorized this as a, quote, well-planned operation. The individuals that perpetrated this crime left the bullet-ridden car at the scene, jumped into a waiting getaway vehicle to make their escape. I have no idea whatsoever regarding the inner workings of this particular household. I will be the first to acknowledge I have no clue what goes on in the Lindsay household. But there's something seriously amiss here, y'all. First incident in November, now in February, and 2 members, teenagers, dead. Another, in all likelihood, will spend the rest of his natural life behind bars. Many people would have you believe that the problem is with law enforcement. They're not doing enough to stop the crime, to stop the shooting, get the illegal guns off the streets. Many people will have you believe it is the judiciary's fault. Well, they need to hand out harsher sentences, get these people off the street, lock them up, etc., etc., etc. But we conservatives and most thinking people understand full well that this starts at home. Some of y'all are going to be upset with me. That's okay. It is not the first time, and God knows it will not be the last. But until people who look like me decide that we are going to grab this bull by the horns and we're not going to stand for this anymore, it's not going to stop. As a matter of fact, if these 2 instances are any indication, it's going to get a lot worse before it gets any better. At the end of the day, we conservatives are of the opinion that the government, law enforcement, the judiciary, etc., all we want you to do is stay out of our way and let us work as hard as humanly possible to raise our kids the right way, to earn an honest living, to improve the quality of life in our neighborhoods. And we've been demonized for that. We've been castigated. We've been called all sorts of ugly names. But the troubling trend continues. Have you noticed in recent memory the ages of the people that are showing in no uncertain terms they are either incapable or unwilling to live by the rules of a civilized society? They're getting younger and younger and younger with every passing day. So much so that now to hear about a 14, 15-year-old murdering someone, it's old news. I am going to continue to beat the drum as long as God gives me the strength to pick up the mallet and strike the drum. That this is an abject, total, and complete failure of leadership in the black community. It pains me and angers me to no end. Where's the black leadership on this? Now, all it takes is one white person to be involved in the murder of a black child, and all these so-called black leaders will come flooding out of the woodwork. They will tell us incessantly, you see, it's the evil conservatives and the white supremacists. Let me ask you something. If you look like me, when is the last time you remember a white person coming into the neighborhood where you live, killing a young black man or woman, and leaving a rebel flag at the crime scene? When's the last time you remember that happening? Meanwhile, thousands upon thousands upon thousands of young black people are murdered, and you don't hear a peep. You know, as uncomfortable as it may be to talk about these things, conversation is the beginning of understanding. And if we don't talk about it, it's only going to get worse. So unless and until the so-called black leadership decides to address this, do us all a favor and shut the hell up, because you are the problem. Do us all a favor and shut the hell up, because for the things that matter, if you're, quote, an elected official, get out of your office and go talk to the people you represent and ask them, you been bothered by any white supremacists lately? Then, after we all know the answer you're going to get, then ask them, how many of your kids' friends have been murdered recently? Ask them, how many of your co-workers' kids have been murdered lately? Ask them, how many people do you know that look like we do, who've had mothers, fathers, sisters, brothers murdered? You already know the answer. And yet, these people continue this narrative while the blood continues to run in the streets like water. At some point, y'all, we better hurry up and get sick and tired of being sick and tired and rein this in if it's not already too late. God has blessed us, y'all, to live in the greatest country on the face of this earth. We went through a war with ourselves so that black folks could be equals in this country. And this is what we're doing with that freedom. This is what we're doing with all the struggles that were made on our behalf. And our so-called leadership is as quiet as the proverbial church mouse. I don't know about you, but that's disgusting. So again, black leadership, until you take a stand, until you come out and denounce it, until you take the bull by the horns and be the, quote, leader we elected you to be, I don't want to hear a darn thing you have to say. Nothing. Save it for somebody else who obviously doesn't have the sense that God gave a billy goat. Bottom of the hour break. Let me get this out of the way. When we come back, I will preface the name of this statement with blah, 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 lie, blah, 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 lie, blah, 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 blah. Also known as the State of the Union Address. That's next when we continue today's edition of the Clarence Bugg Show, only on the Pelican. Stay close.
Got termites? Get Premier Pest. PremierPestServices.com.
Driver assistance technology comes standard on every Camry model as part of Toyota Safety Sense, setting the standard for safety every time you're on the road, no matter the destination. Save on your Camry today at Team Toyota, I-12 at O'Neill.
Hi, I'm Katie, Operation Manager here at Old School Barbecue. We're excited about all of the changes here at Old School, and we'd like to invite everyone to come out and enjoy some delicious barbecue at Old School prices. We feature brisket, chicken, ribs, sausage, and the Boss Hog pulled pork sandwich voted best deal in town. We also have live music Friday and Saturday from 7 to 10 p.m. 10655 Coursey Boulevard. We can't wait to see you.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Hi, I'm Hurricane Betsy Barnes.
And I'm Dr. Kay Siller with The Rocket Right Show.
We are two busy blondes on the go showing off life in Louisiana.
Watch us on Pelican Sports Network.
And Talk 107.3 FM. Check local listings for times.
Caught spiders? Premier Pest Services.
Welcome back to today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show. If you were with us heading into the last commercial break, and particularly if you were not, then you may not know that we've decided to call this particular segment blah, 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 lie, blah, 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 lie, blah, 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 lie some more. AKA last night's State of the Union address. You know, heading into this annual ritual, those of us who've been paying attention to what's going on in the country, we pretty much knew it was going to be another case of blah, 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 lie, blah, 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 lie, blah, 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 some more. And sure enough, President did not disappoint. You know, under normal circumstances, you might make the case that you could understand an individual misspeaking. You could maybe understand an individual deviating from the truth. But in today's digital information age, where everything you say, folks at the touch of a button can look it up to determine the authenticity or whether or not it's just a flat-out lie. For example, last night the leader of the free world informed us that, quote, I am doing everything within my power to lower the price of gas. You might remember, week and a half, 2 weeks ago, the leader of the free world informed us, quote, I'm going to fight like the devil to bring down gas prices. So last night, in telling us that you're doing everything within your power to lower gas prices, that means you have restarted construction of the Keystone XL pipeline, right? That's within your power. But no, he's not doing that. So that means if you're doing everything within your power to lower the price of gas, that means you are going to restart drilling on federal lands for oil and gas, right? Wrong again. If you're doing everything within your power to lower the price of gas, that means that you wouldn't have a problem with then President Donald J. Trump replenishing our strategic petroleum reserve by putting back the 50 million gallons that we were low on. Did y'all know, and I know you didn't, those of you that watch CNN LOL, MSLSD, ABC, NBC, and my favorite, CBS, you didn't know that last year we imported 245 million barrels of crude oil and petroleum products from, wait for it, Russia. That equates, quick math, and this is not my math, according to Martin Durbin, Senior Vice President for Policy at the United States Chamber of Commerce, that amounts to nearly 672,000 barrels of oil a day from Russia. Now, if I remember right, because it was a big deal, just over a year ago, Donald J. Trump put us in position where we achieved energy independence. We didn't need oil or gas from anybody else. As a matter of fact, we had so much of it, we were selling it to other countries at a profit. Have you looked at the price at the pump lately? Oh, and guess what? It's going to get worse, buddy. It's going to get a lot worse before it gets better. Thanks, Joe. Thanks, Democrats. Appreciate you. And they're going to call on you to make the sacrifice to uphold our ideals. Last night, the leader of the free world also informed us that he is calling on Congress to secure the border and fix the broken immigration policy. So let me get this straight. You're calling on Congress to fix the problem at the border. Y'all do possess the ability to read between the lines, don't you? What he's telling you is the border czar, the person that he put in charge of fixing the problem, Vice President Kamala Harris. Remember her trip to Central America to ascertain the root causes of the immigration problem? What he said last night, while not saying it, is that she's a miserable failure in that regard. You put her in charge of fixing the problem, but now you're calling on Congress to secure the border. Blah, 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 blah. The leader of the free world last night also made a big old to-do about funding the police. Now, don't get it twisted, y'all, to use the vernacular of the streets. Don't get it twisted. You wouldn't have to ask to fund the police if it were not for the party you represent. I am the Democrat Party. Remember that? If you wouldn't have been a part of the party and cheering on defunding the police. Now understand something here, y'all. This has absolutely nothing whatsoever to do with Joe Biden being such a caring person about all the lives, all the property, all the damage being done by this literal explosion in crime in major cities all across America. This has nothing to do with that. You know what it's about? The midterm elections are right around the corner. And the polling numbers show they are in for a butt-whipping extraordinaire. Why? Well, Americans are sick and tired of inflation, the highest it's been in 40 years. Americans are concerned about the millions of people that you are allowing to come across our border, unfettered, unvetted, unvaccinated. Americans are sick and tired of the rampant crime, and they're going to hold you and your party accountable. You know, there's an old saying, You can always tell what Democrats are truly doing by simply watching what they accuse somebody else of doing. Read between the lines, people. Read between the lines. You're going to find, and here's a classic example. Did anybody other than me notice the day before the State of the Union address, they drop the mask mandate in the Capitol? The day before the State of the Union. Because obviously you can't get on television in front of the whole nation talking about what great progress we've made on COVID, and everybody sitting in the audience is wearing a mask. Is this what you voted for? And for those who may be willing to say, well, Clarence, you got to understand that, bless his heart, he's not really all there mentally. You have to expect that he's going to stumble on occasion. It's not just at the top, y'all. It permeates the left. Nancy Pelosi had the unmitigated gall to come out and say, well, Americans are actually doing pretty good. I mean, problem is that Joe Biden's poll numbers are so bad because we hadn't done a good enough job telling people the good stuff that he's done. What was it? A week ago, ABC News poll comes out and says, we polled people asking them, what has Joe Biden done that you agree with? 74%, if memory serves correct, said nothing. Not a fill in the blank with the D word here thing. Thank you, KG. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Last night could have done the entire country, the whole free world, could have done them a world of good had he simply walked to the podium and uttered, I'm in over my head, I'm out, I quit. That would have been the good news. The bad news, look how much longer we've got to put up with this. But at least we don't have to worry about Donald Trump and his mean tweets. We are now an embarrassment in the international community over the Afghanistan debacle. We are now an embarrassment in the eyes of the international community because of the Ukraine invasion. Think about this as we head to our final break. In the last 13 years, Vladimir Putin invaded Ukraine twice. Out of that 13-year span, there was only one portion out of the 13 years, 4 years, that Vladimir Putin didn't dare set foot talking about invading Ukraine. You know what that 4-year period of time was? When Donald J. Trump was president. See, most of y'all been asleep at the switch, so you don't realize. Vladimir Putin invaded Ukraine when Barack Obama was president and Joe Biden was vice president. Now, Joe Biden is president. And what is Vladimir Putin doing? Whatever the hell he wants. Say what you will Orange Man bad. Say what you will. Oh, but his personality, he's so gruff. He's so brash. We didn't have these problems then. Just a little something to think about, my friends. Final break of today's show. We'll get her done, come back, put that big old pretty bow on this puppy, and wrap up today's edition of the Clarence Buggs Show, right where you've got it, only on the Pelican. Stay close.
You can't smell it, but you can almost taste it. And whether it's for a family get-together or a game day feast, having Manda in the mix always sounds good. For 3 generations, their quality meats and original seasonings have made Manda a Louisiana legend and made their family sausage Louisiana's family sausage. Manda Fine Meats, the flavor says it all.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystonecountryClub.com.
Tremonti's has meat, Tremonti's has seafood, Tremonti's has much more. Tailgating and home gating platters, huge wine and liquor selection, beer and all the spices you need, Chairman Reserve and Wagyu meats, ribeye rolls, shrimp rolls, kebabs, 20 flavors of sausage for the grill, daily lunch specials and game processing. On-site catering also available. Good meat ain't cheap and cheap meat ain't good. Visit Tremonti's.com.
Sometimes life is wonderful, and sometimes it's not. Cherish the good, but always be prepared for life's challenges. At Private Healthcare, we provide the peace of mind you deserve. With Private Healthcare, you'll get the coverage you want and healthcare you need. If your employer doesn't supply healthcare coverage and you don't qualify for Medicare or Medicaid, you need to give us a call right now. Private Healthcare is private health insurance for ages 65 and under with medical, dental, vision, and even prescription coverage. When life comes at you unexpectedly, you need to be ready, and health insurance is your financial safety net. Health insurance has never been so easy and affordable. If you're looking for health coverage at the best price and your annual household income is $35,000 or more, call the number on the screen now and speak with a live healthcare consultant. Don't wait. Get the coverage you need now.
Welcome back to the final segment of today's edition of the Clarence Buggs Show. You know, then President Donald J. Trump said a lot of things that just set a lot of people off. And one of them was the statement that the media has become the enemy of the people. Remember that? It's ironic, amazing, funny in some instances, how events after he said certain things prove him right. For example, have you noticed how quiet the mainstream media has become now after Special Prosecutor John Durham filed motions a couple of weeks ago saying that we now know that President Trump was right? They did spy on him. They spied on his home, on his business. These folks spied on him in the Oval Office. Oh, and it gets better. It gets much better. The guy that the Hillary Clinton campaign, and yeah, I'm going to say it, colluded with on the whole Russia collusion story, he is now Joe Biden's national security advisor. Boy, that'll restore your faith in our government, won't it? I'm waiting since we started this talking about the media, I'm waiting for the New York Times to give back their Pulitzer Prize. Remember, the highest award in all of journalism for excellence in reporting. What we now know is excellence in reporting on a lie. Remember I told you earlier today, the easy way to figure out what Democrats are really doing is to look at what they accuse other people of doing. That's what they're doing. We heard every single night for over 4 years, every day, every night, every weekend, Russia collusion, Russia collusion, Russia collusion, collusion with Russia, over and over and over again. Now we find out it was actually the Democrats who were colluding with the mainstream media in pushing a lie. Oh, but it gets even worse. They couldn't find anything, so they made some stuff up. Then took what they made up, walked it over to the Department of Justice and our intelligence agencies, and let them use what they knew was a lie to secure a FISA warrant to prosecute him. I got to tell you, man, that's a pretty nice gig if you can get it. You engage in all sorts of illegalities, make up stuff, BS warrants, and you get to be the national security advisor. Or better yet, you get to run for president again. But the media hadn't heard a peep. They will tell you it's those evil conservatives that are a threat to our democracy. They're a threat to destroy the republic. So what do you call a person who spies on a sitting president, makes up lies, and then in collusion with the media, hammers it on us every day and night for over 4 years? What do you call that? Oh, I know. Hillary Clinton. Time's up, y'all, and I gotta go. Ooh, I gotta do this one real quick. All right, you already know the drill. You know what? You're right. This day more than any other, I give it to you. America, we're not perfect, but for this old boy's money, it's the best there is. And God knows there's no place else on his green earth that I'd rather be. Speaking of the good Lord, you realize he loves you, and you know I do too. Best news you're gonna get all day. There ain't a doggone thing you can do about either one. We'll see you tomorrow. God bless.